Welcome to Chapter 29, Phrasal Verbs. A phrasal verb is a phrase that consists of a verb combined with a preposition or an adverb, or sometimes both, which together create a meaning that is different from the original verb. In this lesson, we will cover 80 essential phrasal verbs, along with their meanings and examples. Let us get started. Number 1. Back up. This means copy files to a second medium. For example, I always back up my files to an external hard drive. Next up, number 2. Blow out. This means to extinguish a flame or candle. Also, to puncture while a vehicle is in motion. For example, please blow out the candle. Another example, one of my car tires blew out on the way. Moving on to number 3. Blow up. This means to explode. Also, to fill something with air or gas. For example, the terrorists blew up that old building. Another example, John blew up nearly 50 balloons. Let's look at number 4. Break down. This means to go out of order or suddenly cease to function. For example, our washing machine broke down due to electrical failure. Now, number 5. Break up. This means to end a relationship. For example, she broke up with Peter last month. Here is number 6. Burn out. This means the failure of an electrical device through overheating. Also, physical or mental collapse caused by overwork. For example, the light bulb burnt out yesterday. Another example, I'm so burned out with heavy work. Our next phrasal verb is number 7. Call off. This means to recall or to cancel. For example, the tennis match was called off because of bad weather. Up next, number 8. Calm down. This means to relax after being angry. For example, after some time, John calmed down and thought for himself. Number 9. Carry on. This means continue an activity or task. For example, carry on. You are doing well. Next up, number 10. Check in. This means to register at a hotel. For example, we checked in at the hotel at 11 o'clock last night. Moving on to number 11. Check out. This means to leave a hotel after paying the bill. For example, I checked out of the hotel at 10 o'clock. Let's look at number 12. Come across. This means to meet someone or find something by chance. For example, I came across my old photos yesterday. Now, number 13. Cut out. This means cut something out from something. Also, to stop doing something. For example, I cut this article out of a magazine. Another example, you need to cut out all junk food. Here is number 14. Catch up. This means to reach someone by moving faster. Also to discuss the latest news. For example, I stopped and waited for him to catch up. Another example, I want to catch up with you. Our next phrasal verb is number 15. Drop out. This means quit a class, school, or similar. For example, I dropped out of college and started a business. Up next, number 16. Eat away. This means to gradually destroy something. For example, something is eating away my cat's tail. Number 17. Eat out. This means eat in a restaurant. For example, I don't feel like cooking tonight, so I'm going to eat out. Next up, number 18. Dress up. This means wear elegant clothes. For example, he dressed up as a cowboy for the birthday party. Moving on to number 19. Fall down. This means fall on the ground. For example, I slipped on the road and fell down. Let's look at number 20. Figure out. This means find the answer to a problem. For example, I can't figure out how to solve this problem. Now, number 21. Fill in. This means to write information in blanks. For example, please fill in the form with your name and address. Here is number 22. Fill out. This means to complete an application form. For example, I filled out the application form for a job and mailed it. Our next phrasal verb is number 23. Fill up. This means fill something completely. For example, the room was filled up with students. Up next, number 24. Find out. This means to discover. For example, I am going to find out who is responsible for this problem. Number 25. Get along. This means to have a good relationship. For example, I get along with my boss very well. Next up, number 26. Get away. This means to escape. For example, I think we should get away for the weekend. Moving on to number 27. Get back. This means to return. For example, I will see him after I get back. Let's look at number 28. Get in. This means to enter a place or enter a small closed vehicle. For example, when did you get in last night? Now number 29. Get off. This means leave a large closed vehicle such as a bus, train, or plane. For example, you should get off the train in Chennai Central. Here is number 30. Get on. This means enter a large closed vehicle such as a bus, train, or plane. For example, I am going to get on the train to Mumbai. Our next phrasal verb is number 31. Get out. This means to leave a place or leave a small, closed vehicle. For example, I got out of the car and went home. Up next, number 32. Get rid of. This means to eliminate something or someone. For example, how to get rid of lice. Another example, I'll get rid of Tom. Number 33. Get together. This means gather or assemble socially. For example, our apartment residents get together once a month. Next up, number 34. Get up. This means to rise, leave bed. For example, I get up at 6 in the morning. Moving on to number 35. Give up. This means to stop doing something. For example, John gave up smoking 10 years ago. Let's look at number 36. Go ahead. This means start, proceed. For example, please go ahead and eat before the food gets cold. Now, number 37. Hand over. This means give, usually unwillingly. For example, John handed the car keys over to Peter. Here is number 38. Hang up. This means to end a phone conversation. For example, don't hang up the phone. Our next phrasal verb is number 39. Hold on. This means wait a short time. For example, please hold on. I'll be there in a minute. Up next, number 40. Hurry up. This means do things more quickly than normal. For example, hurry up and finish your lunch or we will miss the bus. Number 41. Keep on. This means to continue doing something. For example, if you keep on asking me about Peter, I will get annoyed. Next up, number 42. Kick off. This means to begin, start. For example, the cricket match kicked off at 10 o'clock. Moving on to number 43. Look after. This means to take care of. For example, she looked after the child while you were out. Let's look at number 44. Look forward to. This means to await or anticipate with pleasure. For example, I'm looking forward to my birthday. It's in 4 days' time. Now number 45. Mix up. This means to mistake one thing or person for another. For example, someone has mixed up all the application forms. Here is number 46. Pass away. This means to die. For example, that person passed away peacefully in his sleep last night. Our next phrasal verb is number 47. Pass out. This means to become unconscious, to faint, or to collapse. For example, yesterday, I passed out from the heat. Up next, number 48. Pick up. This means to collect. For example, I will pick you up at around 8 to take you to the railway station. Number 49. Point out. This means to indicate or direct attention to something. For example, I pointed out the best beaches on the map. Next up, number 50. Put on. This means start wearing something. For example, he put on his coat and went out just now. Moving on to number 51. Put out. This means to extinguish or to make something stop burning. For example, I put out the fire with a fire extinguisher. Let's look at number 52. Put up. This means to stay for a short time in a place other than one's own home. For example, we put up at my friend's home when we went to Chennai. Now number 53. Read out. This means to read something aloud so that other people can hear. For example, he is reading out the names of all the winners. Here is number 54. Rule out. This means to eliminate. For example, the proposed solution was ruled out as not possible. Our next phrasal verb is number 55. Run away. This means to escape from a place or suddenly leave. For example, he ran away from home when he was 10. Up next, number 56. Run out. This means to have no more of something. For example, my phone is running out of battery. Number 57. Set up. This means to start a business. Also to prepare equipment or software for use. For example, they set up their own company. Another example. I will set up a meeting for Friday. Next up, number 58. Shut off. This means to stop operating. For example, please shut that alarm off. Moving on to number 59. Sit up. This means to sit with a straight back from a lying position. For example, I sat up and read for some time. Let's look at number 60. Slow down. This means to be less active and relax more. For example, you need to slow down. Now number 61. Sort out. This means organize, resolve a problem. For example, I need to sort out the things on my desk. Here is number 62. Speak out. This means to give your opinion about something in public. For example, she spoke out for women's rights. Our next phrasal verb is number 63. Speak up. This means speak more loudly. For example, I can't hear you. Please speak up. Up next, number 64. Step down. This means to resign from an important position. For example, he wants to step down as party president. Number 65. Stick to something. To do something that you promised or to continue doing or using. For example, you must stick to our agreement. Next up, number 66. Take off. This means to leave the ground. Also to remove clothes or something. For example, the plane will take off at 6 o'clock. Another example. Take off your shoes before entering the house. Moving on to number 67. Take up. This means to begin to do something. For example, I will take up this job at the end of this month. Let's look at number 68. Take out. This means to remove or extract. For example, I will take out the dog for a walk. Now number 69. Think over. This means consider something carefully. For example, I will think it over and tell my decision. Here is number 70. Try on. This means put clothes on to see if they fit. For example, I like these shoes. I will try them on. Our next phrasal verb is number 71. Try out. This means test. For example, I'm going to try this new brand of soap out. Up next, number 72. Turn down. This means reduce volume, temperature, and so on. For example, please turn down the TV a little. Number 73. Turn off. This means switch off. For example, turn off the radio please. Next up, number 74. Wake up. This means stop sleeping. For example, I woke up at 6:30 this morning. Moving on to number 75. Walk out. This means to leave suddenly or angrily. For example, we walked out of the meeting yesterday. Let's look at number 76. Warm up. This means to become warmer. Also, to prepare body for an activity. For example, I need to warm up my car in winter. Moche. Another example, I always warm up before I go for a match. Now number 77. Watch out. This means be careful. For example, watch out. There's a dog in the road. Here is number 78. Work out. This means to do physical exercise. Also to find the answer or solution. For example, I work out 3 times a week. Another example, I am trying to work out a solution for this problem. Our next phrasal verb is number 79. Wind up. This means to close a business. For example, the company was wound up in 2010. Up next, number 80. Wipe off. This means to clean. For example, I'll wash up if you wipe off the table. Congratulations. You have now completed all 80 phrasal verbs in this chapter. These phrasal verbs are very commonly used in everyday English. The best way to remember them is to practice using them in your daily conversations. Try making your own sentences with each phrasal verb. The more you use them, the more natural your English will sound. Great job, and keep learning.